Hey guys, welcome back to the build. So as I talked about last time, I was looking to take these big ugly panels off here, these things that support, actually support a lot. They support the engine, the pegs, the rear pegs, and previously they supported the exhaust, or the muffler to be more accurate. So I had to paint them anyway, so I wanted to take them off. I didn't realize they supported so much on the bike. So what I had to do was, obviously I'm going to lose this, I mentioned how I'm going to cut this off, right, like this, follow the curve. Here's where the rear bolt goes, there's where the front bolt goes, and that front bolt actually connects the left peg like this as well. However, as I said in a previous video, the two sides, the pegs on both sides, left and right, are connected with this massive bolt, right? So here you can see it's blue because the person who owned it before painted it, and on the other end it is blue because they painted it. But this bolt, which has got to be 14 inches long, actually is the rear support for the engine. It's actually an engine mount bolt. So what I had to do is I actually used my ratchet strap to support the back end of the engine, because I didn't want obviously to sag or put any undue weight on any of the parts on it, obviously especially on the transmission and the drive shaft in the back here. So it's actually supported by the ratchet strap while I do this. But the plan now is to, as I said, chop both of these sides down equally. This is the left and this one's the right. Chop them both down with the same sort of pattern like this. The right one supports the rear brakes. And here's my rear brake lever, which needed a lot of work anyway. As I said, I'm going to murder all this out, so I'm going to sand this one down, paint it black. I was looking at this. It actually had a rubber pad on it, and then I flipped it over, and it looks like this is not a factory. This top part is not factory. Right here. It looks like somebody drilled out the original one, which looks much, much smaller. And if you look, the reason why I believe this is because you can't see it very well on camera, but there's actually a texture to this top side here. So it looks like they actually didn't like the size of the pedal and went with something bigger. So I'm actually going to remove that because I think the smaller one is going to suit the aesthetic better of the bike. So I'm going to grind all of this down, take all this nasty exhaust or rust off of here, and then repaint it. Same thing for the pegs. Like this, I'm going to take these arms, like really grind them down and then repaint them the gloss black. But what I want to do is take out these pins. Oh, that looks like it's fixed in there. Okay, so that's going to be a do. We'll have to figure that out. But anyway, I was going to replace it with I think dirt bike pegs, so like studded or spiked ones. I think it'll just be a cool look. But now that I look at it, I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to. That doesn't unbolt, I don't think. I think that's just like a rivet. Oh man. Anyway, if you know something about this, as always, the comments are there. Please have pity on someone who's in way over his head. Yeah. Okay guys, and what I've done now is I've taken the binnacles off. I don't know if they're called binnacles. I actually learned to ride in England and they've got weird names for a lot of things, so they call these binnacles. So the dash, whatever, Speedo and tack. Anyway, I pop them off. I want to save all the bolts. I try and put the bolts exactly back where I got them. So I noticed too, they've got this backing bracket. So if I keep those, I'll take it off and repaint it. But what I want to do is I want to get rid of these. These are the old headlight mounts here, and they're just trashed. So I'm just going to run headlight mounts, new headlight mounts anyway. I've got a new headlight bucket. I'll show you later. But these got to go. And if you notice, the top of the triple tree is just trashed. So it needs to be repainted and everything like that. So anyway, I've removed the center nut here and then the retaining brackets on all three sides. So what I'm gonna do is pop this off, clean the whole thing off. Once again, give it a very thick coat of primer, then a very thick coat of engine enamel. So hopefully everything that goes back onto this bike is gonna look OE or better. So yeah, I'll pop this bad boy off and then I'll show you the process after I go to clean it up and make it look pretty again. All right, so just got back from my father-in-law's house and was able to take almost all of the blue off. There's still some remnants in there. I think because it was house paint, it actually got into the pores of the metal, so I don't want to take too much off, but for the most part it's gone. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and prime this a couple of times with nice thick coat self-etching enamel, self-etching primer, excuse me. So it should be okay, but this is both of them. No, Tilly, go on, baby. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, stinky girl. For God's sake. All right, good girl. So the plan was initially to cut these down here right? However, I was looking at it, and actually, because it follows the line of the bike, I'm going to use the original mounts, rubber mounts for the exhaust to mount the exhaust I'm going to do. So I'm actually just going to run, well, you'll see, I've got a plan for it, but we're not cutting them down anymore. The plan has changed. And actually, while I was at my father-in-law's, we cut down the exhaust. And so this outer heat shield's going to go. I left it on there just because I have to drill out the spot welds. But this is the end of the factory exhaust. It goes from 2 into 1 right back there, like this, so it comes out. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to run a pipe that goes about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches straight, and then tilts up at about a 45 and follows the line of the bike like this. And then here, where the mount was for the original exhaust, I'm going to run a mount in for this exhaust. So it's going to be angled pipe. It's going to stop kind of right about here, I think. So right about halfway between the rear shock and the rear frame support like this. So it'll kind of up and out like this. Should produce a really good sound too. And I'm thinking about putting like a brass cap on the end of it like this. And the plan for the exhaust is to wrap the headers with, I've got like some gold, not gold wrap, but like, I don't know what you call it. You'll see. Anyway, wrap it all the way like so, all the way through the 2 into 1, and then maybe right about where the end starts to tilt up, right around where this bend is. I'm gonna leave it unwrapped, but I will paint it high temp black, and then put, like I said, like a brass cap or something like that on the end here. The color scheme I'm going for is gonna be black and metallics. So we already got the anodized gold here, and hopefully I'll find something good that'll kind of match with it. But yeah, kind of coming along. I've got the triple trees kind of taken apart there. Oh, and so here's the top triple tree mount, and as you can tell, it's mostly cleaned off. I did that at my father-in-law's too. Got a little bit left to take off there. There's weird crevices everywhere, so it's hard to get that well. But anyway, prime, painted black, and then back on up here. Oh, and the plan has changed too, based on feedback you guys gave me. I'm not gonna run the original gauges because they're just too bulky. So I've stripped all of this down. Actually, I've got the gauges here. Incidentally, if anybody needs gauges for their XS1100, I've got them. They, as far as I know, they both work, as does the middle part. But anyway, let me know if you want to. I'll give you a good price for them. But anyway, took those off, and I'm just going to run a single speedo. I'm going to get one of the little mini speedos here, and then run just a couple of indicator lights on a small panel. I'm going to cut a small panel out of aluminum and run it around the original mount. So on the original triple tree, sorry, that's my shadow. Here, yeah, here were the 2 spots where the original binnacles mounted. They were rubber mounted like this. I'm just gonna make like a little triangular shaped one like this, put the speedo here like that, and then just a couple indicator lights for turn signals and stuff like this. But I'll make that panel myself and then go on here. And what's been nice is, and I don't know if you can tell very well in the video, I've been cleaning up. So this actually was covered in rust and crap, and so were the tops of the triple trees, the forks rather, excuse me, the forks on both sides. These were just gunked up and nasty with rust and all sorts of stuff, and they've cleaned up really nice. So the cleaning process is slow and gradual, but it's coming together. I know it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but we're getting there. We're getting there. The rebuild part is starting very soon. Here's the top where the ignition mounts. There's the headlight. I've already got the handlebars, so as soon as we get this back on here, bars go on, and the front end starts coming together. Sorry, that's my kids. I got a bunch of kids. Anyway, but as always, thank you for following the build, and I'll have another video ready shortly.